The one thing that not working has turned me into is kind of a trophy hunter. Like, before, and even really now still, but definitely more so before, I did not care about trophies or achievements at all. But now I'm like, I'm going through, I'm like, man, I kind of want to just like platinum these games that I'm playing. The one I'm working on right now is the... what is it called? What is the Glove of Doom? Outriders. Outriders is the one I'm working on right now. And I'm pretty close to that platinum. Part of the reason I wanted to play Mass Effect 2 is like, man, I could just platinum all 3 of those games. I bet they're not that hard. But I think you have to play each one a couple times to get the platinums for them. I tried looking up like the specific... because I don't think the trophies for the individual games are the same as when they released individually. Because I know there's 4 trophy lists for the Legendary Edition. There's the... what does this do? There's a list for Legendary Edition, and there's a list for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 separately. So there's like 3 separate lists. So 4 separate lists in total, right? And I was like, man, it'd be like... because Mass Effect Andromeda was kind of an easy platinum. I didn't platinum it, I got very close, and then just kind of lost interest. But I was like, man, but I couldn't find like the actual Legendary trophy list online, so I don't know if it's like the individual lists are the same as when they first originally released. Because if that's the case, then it's kind of it's not an easy platinum, where you have to play each game, like, literally 2 or 3 times. Which... I don't want to do that, you know? Play them once. Call it good. But, you know... there is another game coming out pretty recently. By the time this goes, it'll already definitely be out. Not to date myself, but from when I'm recording this, there is a game called Biomutant coming out fairly soon, which I mostly knew about, but then one of my friends texted me, he's like, man, I can't believe this game isn't getting more hype, and I was like, oh yeah, this game, isn't it like a 2D platformer? And then I looked into it, and it is it's not a 2D platformer, it's a 3D action RPG that looks actually really, really cool, and I just somehow got it confused with another game called Rin, I think, where you play as like a rabbit with a robot arm. But Biomutant looks dope. My brother's says he's really into it, so, and he also recently got a job, so I'm thinking like, and he gets paid more than I do at his job, and works longer hours than I do. So good for him, but basically this means like he spent many years, not mooching necessarily, but basically anytime I would buy a PS4 game, I would text him and be like, hey, I downloaded this game, you can game share it from me if you want to. And I feel like it's only fair now for me to hit him up and be like, yo, if you buy this game now that you have a job, let me game share it from you. Because I kind of want to play it. And if I do get that game, that is one I would 100% do videos on, I think. I have no clue how long it would be, or if it's even going to be good. I'm waiting for reviews, because it comes out May 25th, which is next week for me, from when I'm recording this. So, I really hope it's good, though. Apparently, I think PewDiePie has done some previews on it, but I haven't seen anything else. I think some other YouTubers have. I watched like an interview thing with the art director of the game earlier today, and it's way more in-depth than I thought it was. Like, I literally thought it was just like a nothing game that was like, it happened to exist. But it is not that. It is in fact an intense game that actually has lots of cool stuff connected to it, so I'm hoping it's good. The only thing that makes me worried about it is that it's being published by THQ Nordic, Which, not that they make like bad games or anything like that, but they're just a very weird developer that I have a difficult time nailing down for what the quality of their games are. Because they do, I think they have some good games. Like, they make the Darksiders games now, and those games are not. Darksiders Genesis I don't think was bad. But then they also do remakes of like SpongeBob and Destroy All Humans, which were not bad. I don't know if I would describe them as like good though. Which is not necessarily THQ Nordic's fault. Those games just also probably aren't that great to begin with. But I don't know, man. Biomutant looks pretty cool. It's one of those things too where this is like stupid to say and like the most consumer horror capitalist BS you're ever gonna hear, but essentially when game companies specifically take risks on interesting things, I like to support those risks, because even though like AAA games are kind of like my bread and butter, honestly, like I'm not a diverse gamer as far as like I'll play most video games, like any video game I'll give a shot if it's up my alley. But I'm also not gonna lie and be like, oh, I love indie games. Like most of the times, unless an indie game breaks into the mainstream, I usually don't play it. You know, like Spelunky, Binding of Isaac, Hades. Like those all, in my opinion, broke into the mainstream and became more than just an indie game. So, and that's like a me thing where I need to branch out more probably with the types of games that I play. Not that I'm like afraid of indie games or whatever, it's just
Maybe there's
I don't
a
know.
trespasser terminal around here.
There is, it's right there. I just really like AAA games. So when studios like AA, AAA studios take risks, or even when AAA studios like put forward an indie game and take a risk on it, then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of more interested in this, and I want them to do more things like this and take these risks, so I think it's important to support those. I needed water. Because, although of course that doesn't always work, because then there are instances such as one Activision where they just legitimately don't care, and then they make Crash Bandicoot 4 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and then they're like, and they announce that oh yeah, these games sold our best and like actually helped us meet our goals for this financial year, but now those studios aren't gonna make new games ever again and are in fact just gonna help make Call of Duty now forever. And you're like, oh well, that sucks, because like, what if I don't want to play Call of Duty? What if I want to play more Crash Bandicoot games or more Tony Hawk games? And they're like, well, don't know what to tell you. Because those games sold pretty well, especially if Activision's like, yeah, they're like part of the reason we met our financial goals this year. And they're still like, LOL, now they're making Call of Duty. And you're like, oh, okay. Not that I have anything inherently wrong with Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty is a game that I enjoy solely for the fact that I play it with my friends. So, you know, there's like some nostalgia that way where it's just like, oh yeah, it's a fun time to play with my friends. But generally, I don't play multiplayer games on my own, because it's not fun for me to get freaking owned by people, you know what I mean? Like, what is fun is just like messing around with my friends and talking to them. Like, that's like the main reason I even play multiplayer games. But I mean, so yeah, and I've tried too, like Call of Duty Cold War, the newest one that came out, Black Ops Cold War, I think is actually one of my favorite Call of Duties, certainly my favorite modern Call of Duty, because I haven't really even, I would not go so far as to say I've liked Call of Duty since, this is going to be blasphemous, but I liked Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3 I liked, and then, but Black Ops 3, since pretty much Black Ops 3, I've just been like, ugh, these are not fun anymore, these games aren't good, and they're all the exact same. And I still stand by the fact that they're all the exact same, but I don't know, something just clicked with Black Ops Cold War specifically for me, where it's like, oh, this is actually fun again. And I am not looking forward to the new Call of Duty this year, because it's going to be on the Modern Warfare engine again. And I know, and I don't like Warzone. Hate is a strong word. I don't think I hate Warzone because I play it, but again, that's only because I play it with certain friends, because that's the only game that they play. But as far as like Battle Royales go, Warzone is probably my least favorite, and Apex, I think, is maybe my favorite. But I don't even like the Battle Royale version of Apex. I like the new Arena mode that they just added, and that's what I play. If I play Apex, is the Arena mode. And it's totally like a skill thing, where it's just like, I don't spend enough time, or I'm not good enough at those games where like I can like do cool stuff or whatever, so then I'm bad at them, so then my friends get mad at me because I die all the time. And then also, because I'm so bad, I spend more time dead than I do alive in any of those games at any given time. Which means most of the time I'm just sitting there watching them play because I'm dead.
Deplanetizer power level at 75%.
And sure, you can get revived in every battle royale nowadays, but it doesn't do anything. Like, getting revived is just a death sentence later. Because yeah, I get revived now, but we're now 10, 15 minutes into the game. Everyone who's still alive is looted up, and I'm now dropping with nothing. There's little to no ground loot, because everyone's looted it, and then has bought their own loadouts and stuff like that, and it's just like, what am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna die again. And inevitably I do.
So you made it to
So it's just, you know, it's
but your little adventure will
super not into battle royales or even multiplayer games, is like in general. The only technically multiplayer game I play is Outriders, but that's like a co-op game and you can play the entire thing by yourself. I played some of it with one of my friends, but I think he kind of fell off of it more than I did. Or that's not true. He ended up playing like a bunch on his own and beating it and doing like a bunch of stuff with like player builds and stuff, and then just kind of lost interest, which I don't blame him for, you know what I mean? It happens. You know what I mean? Can't be that upset at the guy. I think it's this one that needs to be off. Oh, does it have to be on? Shoot. Wait, no. There we go.
After I've built us a new home world, I'll make another. Can you imagine? Dozens of Clark
Yeah, I don't know.
it's forged not by nature,
Just
by my
something
We'll create an entire
single player games do more for me that multiplayer games just don't do.
I suppose this will leave
Except for allowing me to play with people. But that's probably why you'll never ever see me play
Man,
Warzone on the channel, because it probably will not happen ever.
Our security lasers will keep you from going any.
Because in order to like stream that, I would need to be A, really good at it, or B, like normal good at it, like pretty average
You said that was
to maybe slightly above average, and also very funny. Like, and I'm not Tim the Tap Man. You know what I mean? I'm just not. So, I understand where I lie, so I'm not upset about it. I'm still trying to figure out what my long-term content's even gonna be anyways, so. You know what I mean? Things could change pretty dramatically at any time. As it stands now, I like just doing the gameplays, partly because they're just kind of easy and low stress, and I don't have to think about it that much. And it's letting me play games that have been in my backlog for years at this point. It has some pretty unique benefits, right? So, that's part of the reason I'll probably stick with this, at least for a while longer.
Deplanetizer power levels
Who knows, though?
95%.
Things change all the time.
To the bridge.
Plus, hopefully in a couple months I'll have a actual full-time job. I hope. And then, who knows what things are gonna be like then, you know? Who freaking knows, man?